What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. As you would have seen by the title, today I'm going to take you through my full day of eating at peak off season, but for my rest day. I feel like a lot of people do full day of eatings on their training day or on their high day, but I absolutely love my rest day meal plan. So I'm going to take you through that. I'm going to take you on a food shop to pick up some of the food that are on this rest day meal plan, and then also drop some value at the end of the video, giving you some of my best tips surrounding digestion and appetite regulation for those of you that are in peak off season and pushing loads of food through the GI. But before we do any of that, and I have any business eating, we're going to get a caffeinated beverage in. We're going to get all of my prep guys checked in, because that is the absolute priority when waking up first thing in the morning, is any of my prep check-ins get seen to straight away. We're then going to get cardio done, and then I need a trim. I am so overdue a haircut, guys. As I mentioned in the last video, hair growth is slightly accelerated since I've been assisted. And yes, it's been nice to get a little bit of facial hair now. However, it now connects to the back of my head in like no time at all. 2 weeks, my beard's connecting to the back of my head and it looks horrendous. So that is the absolute priorities first. So we're gonna go get a haircut done. If I could sort this fucking camera out, there we go. We're gonna go get a haircut, we're gonna get cardio done, we're gonna get the prep boys checked in, and then we'll get stuck into the food shop and getting the first meal in. So I'll be fucking ravenous by then, because my appetite is absolutely raging. But the caffeinated beverage of choice, Blue Ultra. I've got my hands on one of those bad boys. So we're gonna crack this open and give you an actual first taste test review. I wanna say this got discontinued because I feel like I've had this years ago, and then they stopped it and now they've just brought it back, or I managed to get hold of it on one of my supplement orders. So let's see. It smells unreal. I am hydrated up, by the way. Supplements in, hydration in, and now we can crack open a fresh monster. It's all right. It's good. It's not quite a white. I don't really know what flavour that's trying to be, if I'm being honest. It tastes a bit blue, but not a blue raspberry or anything. It almost tastes like the fucking green, if I'm being honest. I'm on about like the OG green, the black and green, not the apple one. So, a bit of a disappointment, but we move. So I'm going to go get check-ins done now, get cardio done, get a fresh trim, and I'll pick up you guys after that. So, we are back from the haircut, and my God, do I feel better. I have no problem with paying for a haircut every 2 weeks when it makes you feel this much better. I just feel like I'm going to be more productive now. I feel way more professional now. My hair doesn't look a mess, and we're not connecting from the beard to the back of the head. The initial plan was to go food shop. However, it's already 11:30 and I haven't eaten yet, and I am painfully hungry and I can't make it till after a food shop. So we're going to get meal one in now. Luckily I have the ingredients for that, and then we'll take you on the food shop after that. So for meal one, we have a glorious bowl of oats. Something that I never get sick of, even at peak off season. Probably because my appetite is still raging, but I absolutely love my oats. I go for Flahaven's Jumbo Organic Oats. Much better for you than the overly processed rolled oats, like the Scottish oats or the Quaker oats, because they get sprayed with a load of shit during that rolling process. So much better to go for Jumbo Organic Oats, because they don't go through as much processing. Much better for your digestion and your gut health. So super important, and these are just unbelievable. I much prefer oats when they're thicker, because they give you way more texture and everything. So that is what we're going for there. I'm going to chef this up together, show you all the other toppings and ingredients that I add into it, how I make it in the saucepan. None of that microwave shit. I trust the process, spend a little bit more time making the oats in the saucepan, and it comes with a much better end result. So I'm going to show you that, give you the macros and the calories and the breakdowns of each meal up on the screen as we go, and you'll join me once I'm ready to eat this bowl of oats. A skill that I have, I'm not even joking, I can just get exactly what I need out of there first go. Like, you want me to weigh 20 grams of dark chocolate, I can fucking eyeball that shit. Honestly, I don't even think I need scales anymore. I'm at that point. That was 20 grams I needed, and I've done that in one go. That is my secret fucking talent, I'm telling you now. Not that it'd be very useful in many coaches, but you know. But that's just probably because I've done this for about 4 or 5 years now. You can't eyeball that shit. So, for exact stats of what is actually in this meal, we have 125 grams of oats, 20 grams of almond butter, 10 grams of 85% dark chocolate, 50 grams of whey protein, which comes to 825 calories, 56 protein, 101 carbs, 24 grams of fat. And I genuinely don't think this is going to touch the side, but that is meal one. Sensational. We're still eating with a fucking teaspoon in peak off-season. That's when you know you're still hungry. So I'm going to tuck in and get this in, and then we're going to head off for the food shop.
I was pretty happy with it also. So with the appetite I think I'm just really sensitive. I think
Well, that didn't take long, and it didn't even touch the sides. I could eat 2 of them, genuinely. Absolutely crazy. I'm really worried I'm going to start prep hungry. Like, you'll see with this day of eating today, I'm eating a good amount of food. The rest day, I can't remember where it's at. It's not quite up to 5k, but the trend day and the high day is up towards 6,000 calories. I'm blitzing through it. I'm a living furnace. It's crazy. But that's meal one done. Let's get a shopping list written, and then we'll head down and see how we get on. So some of you may be wondering, where do I do my food shop? And the answer is, we split it between Lidl and Sainsbury's. Reason being, they are just the closest to home. But also, Lidl have got the most goated shopping app, because we've got free shit all the time on here. I've got free no-calorie beverage. We've got discount on the almond butter, which we're having today. And that's it. So we're a little bit limited today, but normally they got some phenomenal deals on there. So that is why we go Lidl. And it's nice because Lidl's is a little bit cheaper, so we get as much as I can from there, like the meats and everything. And then when we go to Sainsbury's, we get all the branded stuff that we need off the meal plan. You're probably also wondering, how many times a week do I go food shopping? And typically I'll go 2 times a week, on a Wednesday and a Sunday. The reason being, if I'd done a full week's food shop at this point in the off season, I ain't fitting that in the house. It would be so much food to try and store in the kitchen. It would be flowing out the cupboards. So we split it into 2 across a Wednesday and a Sunday. And I normally prep my meals on a Wednesday and a Sunday as well, because they're both of my rest days. So it works really nicely. Food doesn't go off. It stays a bit fresher. So we're going to head into Lidl now. It is the day of the wrinkles, honestly. A Wednesday is full of old people in there. And they walk around so slow. They live life in slow motion. And I'm going to have to try and slow myself down today, because I'm like a supermarket sweep. I know exactly what I need, where it is. I normally ping about, chuck it in a basket, very quick, in and out. So because I'm trying to film a few bits today, I'll try and slow it down and explain why I pick some of the foods that I pick. And just making good choices when it comes to what brands you're selecting and things like that. Try and drop a little bit of value. But sometimes supermarkets get a little bit funny with filming stuff. So we're going to try and go a little bit discreet, a bit incognito. I'm going to mic up, and you're going to follow me around, and we'll just see what we can film without getting told off. I'd show you the state of the shopping list, but you probably can't actually see it. I never normally get a trolley, we're just doing it. Bananas. You got to be very strategical with what bananas you get, because minimum that colour. If they're any greener than that, it's an absolute no-go. So these should be perfect. I like them a little brown, some brown specks on them, that's perfect. Right, kiwis. Unbelievable, one of the best fruits. This is a god tier fruit. I'll make sure they're soft enough though, and that one, oh, I've just split a kiwi, shit. Let's not have that. Need it slightly, these are soft. Oh, that's nice, we'll go with that. Full of electrolytes. Pineapple, 300 grams. Gotta get the best date, 31st, lovely. Right. That is fruit pretty much done. Baby spinach, we love some spinach. Right, okay. Yes, spring onions. These are purely for flavour. I love spring onions, not even on the plan, but we're adding them on top. And then mushrooms, fungus, onto the meat. Diced chicken breast, not the mini fillets. Yeah, lovely, lovely. Right, beef. Go for organic time to time, because it's a different weight per packet, but I need 500 grams exactly, so that shall do me. Now for the funnest part of Lidl, the Lidl middle aisle. We got multiple middle aisles here though. Let's see what's down here. Apparently it's Japanese week in Lidl, so might have some lovely little bits. Anybody who's in an off-season and struggling with appetite, and you're using something like a basmati or a long grain rice, get sushi rice. If you put 100 grams of sushi rice next to 100 grams of jasmine rice, or even basmati rice, it's exactly the same calories, yet sushi rice is so much denser in volume, so much easier to get down. Like, you could put away 200 grams of sushi rice so easy in comparison to 200 grams of basmati rice. That would bloat you the hell out. So, little tip, not something that I use because I don't need to, I'm still starving, but if I got to that point, sushi rice, definitely what you want to go for. Well guys, because of the little zap, and the amount of money that I spend in here, we get some freebies. And we have got, they've got it. It's going straight in my basket. It's essentially Fanta Fruit Twist, and we're getting it for free because of the little zap. Right, let's go get some almond butter and dark chocolate. That's all we've got to get. We've been pretty clear today. There's not been too many wrinkles about. We've got a pretty clear run, which is a lovely change. 85% dark chocolate, as mentioned earlier. As nice as this is, like, this slaps for a treat, but we've got to stick with what's healthier. 85%. And then almond butter to finish. And then the rest we will get in Sainsbury's, so that's a good chunk. When you're going for an almond butter, you want to make sure that it has no added palm oil. Majority of them are anyway, but yeah, just make sure it's no palm oil. You should say it on the front. But in Lidl, £1.89 for almond butter. In Sainsbury's, that'd be like £3.50, so it's just a no-brainer, really. Crunchy. Right, I believe that's everything on Sainsbury's. We spoke too soon. Our Lidls, poverty Lidls, they haven't got self-service checkouts, so we've got to queue up every single time. Right, impromptu detour, people. I need my fix, and my fix is smoky bacon ketchup. They haven't got any in Sainsbury's. They never have it in Lidl, so we're having to make a detour to go to Food Warehouse simply for smoky bacon ketchup. But you got to do what you got to do. We secure the bag. 1, 2 for good measure. We love people who just don't really know what's going on in the world. Yeah, that's it. Your own time, love. Yeah, no problem. Oh God, look, there when I told you it's Wrinkle Wednesday. Whoa, right, here we go. Onions, 3 of these, purely for flavour once again. 1, 2, 3, we don't discriminate. Actually, we do discriminate, that one's nearly half fucking peeled. Skin on. Right, looks like it's been taken care of. Right, potatoes. If you don't know, get to know the Anya potatoes. They have a bit more of a nutty flavour, but sensational. And then we need 1.8 kilos of sweet potato. Jesus Christ, I spent half my life cutting these things, and that is a very sizable sweet potato. It needs to be in the right shape because otherwise it can be a bit of a pain to cut. Believe it or not, guys, on my very first bodybuilding prep, I ate so much sweet potato, I fucking turned orange because of the amount of keratin that's in them. I genuinely, my hands went orange. So we're trying not to let that happen because we're having about 600 grams of sweet potato a day. That'll do. Right, next up we have salmon, people, and as much as I would love to be buying the bougie wild caught salmon, I ain't got the fucking wallet for that because the amount of salmon Dan has me on, I need to take a mortgage out for. So I'm literally having like 160 grams of salmon a day. So unfortunately, we've got to take a hit there. Right, next up, seasoning, people. So important. Make your food taste fucking good. I'll be honest, these probably have a fair few calories in them, but at peak off season, not really something I need to be worried about. Maggie knows it's teriyaki, unbelievable. All right, guys, 10 fucking pound Dubai style chocolate. I can't bring myself to do it. I can't. Maybe one. Shh. See the fucking reactions on that? Did you see the reactions on that? That's worthy. That's worthy of having a bar for free. I'm gonna let you guys onto something. The cake and herb seasoning. Once again, you need a mortgage for this shit. However, any of these, the peri peri for your chicken, fucking insane. Cajun for your potatoes and your chips, makes it taste like Five Guys fries. What do we actually need? We need the peri one. We've got enough Cajun, right? Painful. You really shouldn't be spending that much money on seasoning. And they provide some good nutritional value as well. They have some flavonoids in there, some anti-inflammatories, so in go the jalapenos. Now for a slightly more unnutritious food source in the squares bars. Something I was very surprised that Dan put in my plan, but I ain't gonna complain. Number 1, cookies and cream, clear. Number 2, chocolate orange, fucking unbelievable. Then number 3, caramel. Cornflakes ones, they're all right, but Dan says I've got to get the marshmallow ones just because they're obviously lower in fat. So we're gonna go with 4 of those. Why sourdough over any other type of bread? It's because it is not full of added preservatives, sugar. It's just pure single ingredient food with wheat, flour and yeast. So that's what we go with that. Then we will pair that with some bagels on nectar. That we shall not complain with. God, fuck, I'm gonna show this basket already. Right, honey, that's the last thing we gotta get on the list. Can't lie though, people, I'm sweating. So when it comes to honey, it's so important that you don't just buy one of these cheap honeys, because they are a mix of non-EU and EU countries. They're just full of a load of added sugars and bulking agents, which are just full of crap. So it's super important when you're picking a honey that you pick one from a single origin, so from Greek or an organic honey, or one from New Zealand if you've got the minerals to pay for Manuka honey. So we go for Greek honey. It tastes way better as well. It just isn't full of a load of added sugars and bulking ingredients. So that's going in my basket. So that is the food shop done, and it came to just under £50. So I'd like to say my weekly shopping bill is somewhere around that £80 to £100 mark at peak off-season, eating well over 5,000 calories a day. So it's not too bad when you are picking single ingredient nutritious foods that aren't processed and overpackaged and overpriced. You can get a lot of food for that money, and you could definitely make better choices than I made today from a cost perspective. Like I said, having loads of salmon, you could be bulk buying more ingredients than I was buying, not buying all the expensive seasonings and things like that. So it can be done on a budget, and a lot of my clients, I will work around meal plans that are extremely budget friendly to fit their kind of needs, because you can eat extremely healthy towards your goals for a really good price and way cheaper than half of the shitty foods in that supermarket. So I'm going to get a little bit of work done now. I've got a few things to film, content, some more check-ins to do, and I will bring you guys back for the next meal. So, managed to finish the last few bits of content for my rebrand, managed to get all online check-ins done, and we are now finally ready for meal 2. It is about 3 o'clock, so a little bit behind, but we're gonna get this down no problem. We have got one of my favorite meals of the week. We have in the pan, frying up 50 grams of spinach, 100 grams of mushrooms, some jalapenos. We've then got sourdough, 175 grams ready in the toaster, pineapple ready to go. We've got salmon in the air fryer all seasoned up. So just gonna put all of this together. I absolutely love this meal. It's got such a range of textures and colors with all the different vegetables in there. We've got a fruit serving in there as well. We've also got the salmon for all those healthy omegas. Super important, especially as an assisted bodybuilder, where the anabolic steroids are actually going to reduce your good cholesterol. It's really important that you stay on top, not only with your supplementation with your omegas, but also with getting healthy fats in throughout your diet that are high in EPA and DHA, which salmon is. So that is why we get it in there, and it just tastes so good. So good. Such a soft, tender meat, and something that I would have turned my nose up at years ago. Like, ever since my last prep, my taste buds have matured. I wouldn't have wanted mushrooms, I would have said that was like fungus. I wouldn't have wanted salmon, but I absolutely love practically any food now. So we now have meal 2 in front of me. Let's turn this around. We have 150 grams of pineapple. I absolutely love pineapple, not only for the taste, but for its digestive properties. It is the only fruit in the world that has a digestive enzyme in there called bromelain, which is a digestive enzyme that helps break down protein. So put this with any of your heavy protein meals and just watch how it feels, how the meal sits, because it makes a huge difference for me. We've then obviously got the 175 grams of sourdough. We've got 100 grams of salmon, spinach, mushrooms, and then the 2 unbelievable loaded up pieces here with the fried egg on top. So smoky bacon ketchup on top and a little bit of sweet chili on the other 2. The macros of this meal total to I normally don't know because I just follow a meal plan and just go with what's on there. So 62 grams of protein, 108 grams of carbs, and 34 grams of fat, which comes to 981 calories. I'm gonna get stuck into this before it goes cold because it goes cold very quickly. We've got a podcast on just to sit down and relax and make sure that this is digested perfectly.
I mean, they're just getting started. Eric's super excited.
This one, Famous Dave's.
So, as you can probably hear, we have meal 3 in the process of being cooked. We have rice on the boil. What I do is I add a little bit of seasoning into the water while the rice is cooking, and then it soaks it into the rice like flavored rice, which is a little hack if you didn't know. We've then got peppers roasting in air fryer number 1 because roasted peppers are way better than raw peppers. And then we've got the chicken in air fryer number 2 with the goated seasoning. We've then got a few things to add to the meal after, like spring onion, condiments, bit of almond butter, and some kimchi as well. So I'll explain through all once the meal is together, and then I will put all of the macros up on the screen and just going to fully break down the meal. So here is the meal in all its glory, all of the colour, all of the textures, all of the flavour, and then a Fanta Light Rev. We have 100 grams of raw weight rice, 150 grams of red bell pepper, 20 grams of almond butter. If you've never put almond butter in your chicken and rice, please try it. It is unbelievable. We've then got 175 grams of cooked weight chicken breast or 200 grams raw weight. We've then got 2 tablespoons of kimchi, which is a probiotic. It's fermented vegetables, but it is so good for your gut microbiome. It feeds the good bacteria in your gut. It helps with reducing inflammation within your GI as well. A phenomenal thing to be adding to some of your meals to aid in the digestion process, essentially. And then some spring onions chopped up in there for flavour as well. I'm so excited to tuck into this. So I'm going to eat this meal 3 now. Oh, we haven't talked through macros. Get down. So 70 grams of protein, 88 grams of carbohydrates, and 19 grams of fat, totaling at 816 calories. Light work. I'm going to get this in me. This is the most flavoursome meal of the week by a country mile. The mixture of the almond butter with the seasoning on the chicken, the roasted peppers, spring onion, kimchi in there. Levels. So guys, it's now time for meal 4 of the day, and this is the biggest ball ache to cook out of all of the meals. I spend so much time prepping this meal, it is a joke. We've got 600 grams of sweet potato on this baking tray, which takes about 25 minutes to cut up. We've then got an onion, we've then got beef mince, we're gonna get the seasoning on top, some kimchi again, a little bit of fruit to go with the meal. So I will show you guys what it looks like when it is all chefed up together, and we'll break down the macros and the calories of the meal, the reasons behind some of the ingredients that we've got here, and I'm damn hungry, so hopefully this doesn't take too long to cook. A little bit of smoked paprika going on. We'll dash a bit of pepper on there as well. Chip seasoning, dash some of that. It's essentially like a bit of onion powder and a bit more paprika. And that'll do. I'm going to put some teriyaki seasoning that we picked up in the shops today on the beef mince with the onion, because this is sensational. And then it's going to be like a teriyaki sweet potato bowl of goodness with the kimchi in there. I'm absolutely sweating. I haven't even started eating this yet. It is so hot in here. All the steam coming off. Right, let's sit down with this. So, breakdown of meal number 4. We have 2 tablespoons of kimchi, 75 grams of raw weight onion, 200 grams of 5% beef mince, 600 grams of the sweet potato, and then 100 grams of frozen grapes. If you don't freeze your grapes, give it a go, because they just come out so much sweeter. They are so nice, and if they're soft, it solves that problem as well. So this comes to a grand total of 56 grams of protein, 132 grams of carbs, 10 grams of fat, which is 867 calories. I'm sure there's a few extra calories on there via the seasoning and the sauce, but I'm going to get this down. Should be super easy. And then we're left with one meal this evening before we go to bed. So nothing special about this meal. Still keeping some food sources fairly voluminous because I'm still so hungry within this off season. So potato is really good for that. Sweet potato is a superfood. It is so dense in micronutrients. A little bit higher in fiber as well. It is a phenomenal source of carbohydrates that you should have within either your off-season or dieting setting. Beef mince, nice and high in protein. Red meat's super important because they're a little bit more dense in micronutrients and metals as well. So yeah, this is the meal. Let's get it in. Enough waffling, I'm too hungry. See you for meal 5. Okay, so it is finally time for meal 5, the final meal of the day. This one has been prepared, ready earlier on. Out of the freezer, we have some cream of rice. We have got the Supplement Needs cookie dough cream of rice matched with the Perform cookie dough whey. This combination tastes like pure Ben & Jerry's out of the freezer. So good. We've then got 20 grams of 85% dark chocolate. We've then got 2 teaspoons of chia seeds, a great source of fiber, a great source of omega-3s, so really beneficial to add on top there as well, with some cinnamon to top it off. The total macros of this meal are as follows. We have 44 grams of protein, 89 grams of carbs, and 14 grams of fat. I will do a roundup tomorrow of the full day of eating, alongside the digestion tips that I said I was going to go through within today's video. I'm going to sit down, get this final meal in, and start to wind down, ready for my bedtime routine. So I hope you've enjoyed all of the meals that I've gone through today, all 5 meals on a rest day. I've blitzed through them. I could probably eat them twice over, but hopefully some value in there as well. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the digestion and off-season tips. So it is now the following day, and to round up this full day of eating, I wanted to talk through all of the numbers and what those meals total up to, and then provide some value by giving you my best tips for off-season management with your digestion and appetite. So all 5 meals from yesterday totaled up to 4,133 calories. So this is quite substantially lower than my high day and my regular training day, both of which are comfortably over 5,000 calories. So there's quite a big discrepancy there between my training days and my rest days. And the macronutrient breakdown of these meals is 288 grams of protein, 518 grams of carbs, and 101 grams of fat. So on a rest day, we're trying to bring fats up a little higher to make the most of some of those healthy fats, which is going to help with cholesterol and just draw some other benefits that the fats bring, and still keep carbohydrates nice and high. And this is just relative to my output on a rest day, where I typically don't expend as much energy. So that's why there's quite a big drop off from that training day to the rest day nutrition. So that is the macro. So let's now talk through some of my best tips to help you manage your off season and prolong the amount of time you can stay within this phase by keeping your appetite and your digestion intact. Because this is so important if you want to maximize your progress within an off season. So I'm just going to quick fire some tips for you that you can apply to your own off season. And I think the first one, very similar to prep, time management is everything. When you're eating a high amount of calories, it is so important that you don't drop the ball when it comes to meal timings and start eating later into the day, going to bed later, because it's going to have such a negative domino effect on so many other biofeedback markers like sleep, which will also affect your appetite, and then start throwing your routine at a place where you're eating meals closer together. All of these little things get here can have a negative impact on your digestion and your appetite. So it's extremely important that you set yourself meal times and try and stick to that to the best of your ability. Have an even distribution between each meal, and for certain individuals, placing meals more towards where you are likely to be more hungry. For some people, they're not as hungry in the morning, but when you get into the depths of an off season, you want to have as much space between meals as possible. So tip number 2 is keeping on top of your steps. This sounds like such a simple point, but steps placed after a meal is so beneficial for digestion. That lateral movement of the gut while walking will encourage blood flow to the GI and improve gut motility and help food move through the GI at a more efficient rate. So getting steps in after a meal is going to help reduce bloating, help with that GI clearance, and just help with getting your body in a position to then either go and train or get ready for the next meal in a few hours' time. This is something that so many people slack off on in an off season, letting their digest steps drop through the floor because they want to try and create a bigger surplus. But it's so important to move and keep the body as efficient as possible to allow you to eat more. The next tip is utilizing probiotics like sauerkraut, like kimchi, like kefir. These are great additions to a lot of meals that not only improve the nutritional value of the meal and the taste profile, but most importantly going to aid in the efficiency and the diversity of your gut microbiome, because a healthier gut is going to process food in a much more efficient manner. So adding these fermented vegetables to your meals is going to help reduce bloating, help with GI clearance, and just improve the overall health of your gut. So you need your gut to be happy. If you're continuously and relentlessly putting 5,000 plus calories through your GI, you want it to be efficient, you want it to be healthy, and you want it to be happy. And that's going to massively help by adding in fermented foods and probiotics. The next tip is utilizing lower volume vegetables. I am such a believer in keeping vegetables present in as many colors as possible within your meal plan across an off-season setting. It's once again something that I used to skip on in the past, and a lot of people will sub out when they get into the depths of an off-season. It's starting to leave the vegetables out. A healthier body is a more responsive and efficient body, so keeping these vegetables in, which provide a really diverse range of micronutrients, is going to massively help with your overall progress. But we know that vegetables can be quite high in fiber, they can be quite voluminous, which isn't going to help when your appetite is diminished or your digestion is going to be slowed. So it's really important that we start to lean on more volume dense vegetables like red bell peppers, like vegetables that wilt like spinach, and trying to utilize more of those in comparison to things like broccoli or salad or kale. So another really obvious tip is to start to move towards more calorie dense foods that don't come with as much volume. As I mentioned in the supermarket, going to a sushi rice, moving away from potatoes and going towards more rice-based products, leaning on things like jam, honey, oils, things that are so dense in calories, things like dates as well. And this can be great. However, a lot of these calorie dense foods are very sweet. And this can massively ruin someone's appetite and want to eat when they are smashing down loads of sweet food. This is something that I start to find on my high days where I'm putting in over 1,000 grams of carbs. A lot of those sources are coming from bagels and jam, honey, banana, things like that, and it gets very sickly and very sweet. So while that is a great thing to implement into the depths of your off season, leaning towards these kind of foods, I think it's really important to have a balance and a blend within each meal of savory and sweet, because it almost changes the taste profile of that meal. It makes it way easier to get down. For example, you have a meat and a savory carbohydrate source like chicken and rice, but then you pair that with a sweet calorie source as well, maybe like a banana and honey bagel. This allows you to get a lot more food in without that flavor fatigue and that sweetness becoming too strong and completely ruining your appetite. So make sure you have that combination in meals and it'll make a big, big difference. But like I said, adding in your dates, adding in honey to meals, adding in extra virgin olive oil and bagels, sourdough, things that are a lot more dense in volume is definitely a really useful tool that you can lean on the deeper you get into an off season. So another huge point, stress management. Elevated cortisol levels within the body is going to have such a detrimental impact on your ability to digest food and actually have an appetite. Now, some things are out of your control, but making sure, once again, time management is in place and you try and manage your stress to the best of your ability is going to give you the best chance to be able to keep food high in an off season for a prolonged period of time. Because you will find as soon as you run into regular stress, you're going to have huge issues in your digestion. It isn't necessarily the food you're eating, it's the state and the environment your body is in, which isn't allowing you to digest that food efficiently because cortisol is elevated within the body. So make sure you are trying your best to minimize stress and, even more importantly, eat in a stress-free environment. Make sure you are relaxed. We want to be towards that parasympathetic state, rest and digest. So don't want to be rushing that meal down in a fast manner either. You want to make sure you are relaxed, you are present, and you are thinking about what you're doing while you're eating the meal. All of this will have a huge impact. So that leads me on to my next point. Make the food look good, make it smell good, make it taste good. Now, a lot of people think, oh, food is fuel, I just need to get it in. But the digestive process starts with the eyes and it starts with the nose. Wherever possible, try and cook your meals fresh. Make them palatable, because that's going to have a huge impact on your digestion, because you're going to produce more salivation as a result of the meal smelling good, tasting good. This all aids in that digestion process. So don't make your meals look like slop in a bowl that you do not look forward to eating. Pick foods that you enjoy, pick foods that smell good, taste good, digest good, and you'll have a much easier time getting more food in your off season. So on to my next point, which might seem very obvious, is create a demand for that food. Train your ass off. Keep cardio present throughout your off season, because without that demand there for food, your body is not going to release those hunger hormones and have optimal digestion. So you need to train hard. You have fuel behind you. You have the recovery capacities to do so. Make sure you're training your ass off. Make sure that you're keeping cardio present throughout an off season. A lot of people will say, but that means I need to eat more. You only burn around about 200 to 300 calories in about a 30 minutes cardio, but that 30 minutes cardio is going to allow you to eat more than 300 calories from an appetite point of view and from a hunger hormone release point of view as well. So make sure those two things are being nailed and you're consistent and you don't slip on those. And my final tip to help with your appetite and digestion within an off-season setting is controlling your off-plan meals. Off-plan meals within an off-season setting is extremely important. It's an opportunity to break your routine, give back to those around you, enjoy an off-plan meal. However, management of this off-plan meal is vital. If you're purely creating a surplus from your off-plan meal each week, you are just going to ruin your off-season. This also can have a huge impact on your digestion. If you're picking off-plan meals that your body is not used to digesting and handling, you're going to have huge bloating and have digestive issues, which can have a huge domino effect onto the following days. And I find in the depths of an off-season, as soon as this happens, it can be very hard to regain control of. You might have one negative off-plan meal. Your digestion's then poor for the next few days. You start losing some of these habits, start forcing food down, start moving your meals later in the day. And before you know it, you're in a really bad spot that's difficult to get out of. So with your off-plan meals, make sure number one, you're banking the correct amount of calories for them. And then really importantly, pick off-plan meals that you know are going to digest well and sit well with you. This way then we can keep this digestive system as efficient as possible, keep it happy, not damage it by just putting horrendous amounts of processed food through it in one sitting and just controlling it. So you come out of that off-plan meal feeling good with a meal that's digested well, that won't have an impact on the following days or following meals that day. They are my off-season tips. Get all of those in place and you will be able to sustain this environment where you can drive food up nice and high to maximize your ability to progress within an off-season. Don't slip up. Treat your off-season as strict as you can, because it will get paid back to you as a result of that, especially on the front of appetite and digestion. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope there has been lots of value to take away from it. If you guys want to see it, I will do more day of eating, so my high day, my training day, especially as the food increases towards the back end of this off season, now that we've only got a few weeks left. And if you like the educational style videos as well, please let me know what you want me to upskill you on within the comments below. But as always, if you're not already, please subscribe. We're over 500 subscribers now, which is absolutely awesome. So the next milestone is 1,000 subscribers, right? So make sure you like the video, hit the bell notification if you want to be notified when I upload as often as I can. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.